Okay, so welcome to your recovery day. So your rest day, your recovery day. Today I just wanted to show you a few different stretches and exercises that I find are really, really good for preventing injury and also just allowing you to recover, because recovery days are really important. I think sometimes we think that we have to be training hard every single day to get maximum results, when in fact, focusing on recovery and making sure that you're fresh for your workouts and that you are able to push it is really important. So without those recovery days and focusing on that, it's really difficult to be able to give your all during the workouts. Okay? So today I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 different exercises that I like, a few little tools that I like to use, so you can be, again, creative at home. If you don't have these specifically, I can let you know some alternatives. But really, you can find all 3 of these on Amazon pretty cheap. So this is kind of a hard ball. It's like almost like a lacrosse ball you could get, or something that's a little bit hard. Even a golf ball, though it's smaller, will work too. So I find that, the arches of my feet. So if you ever feel like your calves are tight, your Achilles are tight, that often comes from the tightness in the bottom of your foot and your arch. So just putting your foot on here and starting to roll out. The middle arch of your foot is really good. Really good to help kind of loosen that out a bit, but also provide some relief to your Achilles and even your calves. Because when this gets too tight and it's worked too hard, what happens is you start to use these more. Okay, so just rolling out these for maybe 30 seconds. Find any tender spots. You can hold the pressure on it. You can also stand up doing this as well, and just hold the pressure on. And it feels good. It feels good on your feet when you've been on them all day. Okay, switch to the other side. You might feel that one side is one foot is a little tighter than the other. So that having that awareness too, I think that a really important thing when it comes to training and when you start moving your body regularly, you start actually using some resistance, is the awareness of how do I feel, right? And working your muscles, that's good, right? And they're feeling tired and they're feeling a bit fatigued, you feel a bit of that burning. That's totally normal and that's good. But then finding feeling those little bit of those imbalances. Here we're gonna do a little stretch here. Feet together. And you're just gonna breathe and hold. This is a really good one too, where you can sit at home, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and just holding this stretch. Stretching out your groin, allowing your body to relax. If you find that's easy, you can use your elbows, push it down a little bit further. Good. Okay. So this one I really love. This is called the stick. So not too original, this name, but easy to remember. So you can get these online too. But you know what? If you have a rolling pin at home that you use to bake or use, it actually can work the same way. So you don't need to buy one of these. But it's actually a really good tool to kind of roll out your legs, because stretching is going to give you, is going to help with recovery. But sometimes you kind of need to knead out your muscle a bit, loosen it out by actually working it. So here, when you start rolling out your leg, you're gonna feel those areas that feel a little bit tight, right? A little bit of a bump or a lump almost. And you wanna knead that out gently. So find the spots, especially around the side of your knee, around the mid quad. You can knead those out a little bit. I find this really helps with recovery, because stretching can only go so far. So you can spend about 30 seconds, a minute, just finding those tender spots, just kneading them out. Another really good one is using your calf. So you'll find that if you're not used to doing some of those little bit more explosive movements going up on your toes, you're going to be using those muscles, your calves. And so just grabbing that rolling pin or the stick and just rolling out, especially the bottom here near your Achilles, right in this muscle just above it. It's really important to knead that out a bit, because this is where people get tight and they start using that muscle a lot when they're jumping or moving or doing something explosive. These little muscles here get overworked. And when they get overworked, sometimes you end up tweaking your calf or tweaking your hamstring. So this is where this can make a really big difference for your recovery and also preventing tweaks and injuries. Good. Okay, we'll go the other side. Same thing, just gonna get it right at the bottom there above your Achilles. Feel the spots are a little bit more tender. So that's what you want to focus on. You don't always want to focus on the spot that doesn't feel it. Good. Okay, and then we'll go to our other quad. Just kneading that out. Sometimes I find a little bit higher up here, these stabilizers get quite tight, and it's tough to stretch those, right? So you can knead them out. And this also can be really good for blood flow, right? So, even before you start training, if you're feeling a little cold, you don't need to do too much of it, but even 30 seconds, just kind of getting the blood flow going in the muscle can help with a bit of your warm-up as well. So if you're feeling pretty tight before you start, maybe you haven't recovered great between your workouts, which is okay. This is a great way to kind of get yourself going as well. You just spend a little less time than we are now. Okay? The next stretch I love, I've done this before, but we're gonna do it, is just bringing that leg through and reaching the other leg back. This is really good for your glute, groin. If it doesn't feel like much of a challenge, you can pull this leg up. And every stretch doesn't have to feel like a 9 out of 10 stretch or 10 out of 10 stretch. It should feel like maybe a 6 or 7, because we're doing longer holds, right, for your recovery. So sometimes people make the mistake of feeling like when they stretch, they've got to be at their full range, where you don't need to do that. Because often when you go to full range, your body almost protects you, and you don't actually get the benefit of the stretch. So if you can kind of go to that 60, 70% and then have the patience to hold it, you're going to find that you get, a better result from that. You'll feel like you can kind of lean into the stretch or get more range as you hold it. Okay, switch sides. Breathing is important. Second. Nice. Okay. And then my next favorite tool is the foam roller. So if you have a half one, that's great. A full one I think is even better because you can use it to lie on. So I can show you this where you will lay on your back here. Try kind of move your butt to the end. Lay back. Okay, you're gonna feel like your head is supported, kind of even. You're just gonna hold your arms to the side and just hold this. So it doesn't feel like much, but it's a good chest stretch. Really good for your mid back, upper back. If you want to get a little bit more out of the chest stretch, you could hold something that's weighted in your hands. And you're just gonna reach up. So one thing I noticed in doing this, to show you, is I noticed a little bit more tightness on my right side when I was reaching out my arms over my head. So if you notice that, really good exercise to do with the foam rollers, you're gonna kind of rest the foam roller right here, just kind of behind your armpit. You'll feel it right in your lats, and you're just gonna hold and roll that out. So if you have problems reaching your hands over your head in that range of motion, you might want to just do this where you just hold it. You feel where you're tight. Hold for 10 seconds. Good. Okay, you can try it on the other side. Same thing. There. So this really helps with opening up your arms and your posture. This is a lot of the reason. So you'll notice sometimes people feel like their shoulders are kind of rolled forward a little bit. You can kind of loosen out those muscles behind there in your lats. You'll find that'll help your posture as well. So this is a great exercise, and it's tough to stretch, right? You might want to do a stretch like this, stretch like this, but you'll get a lot more out of actually doing some of the foam rolling. So those are just a few of my favorite tools. So I highly recommend, whether you're getting into your training regularly, is picking these up, you know, a little hard ball, a lacrosse ball, even a golf ball. A golf ball sometimes can be a little bit too much for people when you're rolling out your arch. So I find a lacrosse ball or something a little bit softer, but still that firmness is really beneficial. Next tool, obviously, the stick. It's called the stick, or as I said, use a rolling pin at home. It's great to knead out your legs. I also find if you can get your partner or someone, a friend, to roll out your traps a little bit. You just roll them out like this. It really can help with if you've got that tension through your neck and your shoulders. And obviously a foam roller. This is awesome for, you know, your upper back, rolling out your legs, you know, kneading out your lats. So really good tools for recovery and a great investment where you find like some days where you're not quite feeling it. This is actually going to help you get the most out of your workouts. So I hope that helps for your recovery day. A great job with your workouts, and I will catch you in your next workout.